Hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the SillyPoint podcast. We are your hosts, Hari and Navin, and today we have an awesome guest. Obviously, you've heard us talk and chit chat a lot, but Naveen and I have not achieved anything significant. But in the field of cricket, now we are today blessed to have on episode 18 of the SillyPoint podcast an awesome guest. We have Ishan from college. So Ishan is a dear friend from college who is also part of the cricket team. Very passionate about cricket. Also has some of his personal projects and endeavors going on right now. So Ishan, you want to say hi to the audience?
Yep.
Oh
Hi
yeah,
everyone.
you forgot
Happy
to say he's
happy to be
NITK cricket captain.
Yes, Ishan was the
vice
NITK
captain.
cricket
If I
captain.
vice captain, like
It's okay. Captain is not
I
here. He won't see all
Captain,
I
this.
think
captain.
I'm hoping the captain is also an audience, so let's not offend anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, very happy to be here. I've watched some of your Insta reels and pretty fun conversations, and I mostly related to the cricket one. I saw a few that were regarding some startups also. A person from our college who started something. So yeah, the cricket ones I could make a lot of sense of because I've been following and watching the game for what I think about 16, 17 years now. So and more
Would
often
you
than not,
go ahead?
yeah. No, so I was like along with watching, I've also always played like from a very young age, from probably when I was 6 years old is when I actually started playing. Yeah, anything regarding the game I can make sense of that comes pretty naturally.
Nice man. Where did you grow up, by the way?
So I am from Jamshedpur,
Oh,
and I
nice.
was there for the first 5 years of my life, and then my dad shifted to Middle East, so I was there also for a few years. And last 10 years, I've been in Chennai and Bangalore. So my cricket actually peaked when I was in Chennai. Like before that, I was always playing tennis ball and all of that, uh, gully cricket with friends and all of that. But I think from when I was in eighth grade is when I started playing proper leather ball cricket with a lot of breaks. As you know, we've all written JE. You can't, take anything full time with JE, so everything got to stop. But eventually lucky enough to come to college and get into the cricket team, which is also I get to know now a matter of luck also because immense number of people apply and people hardly get like 5 to 6 balls of batting and bowling. So I was lucky enough that I got a chance to be in the team and then practice with them regularly. So that was when my leather ball cricket became consistent. Tennis ball was always.
So I applied for NITK cricket team as a fast bowler, but yeah,
Okay.
After
clearly I
going
did not
there,
get
after
Understood.
going
selected.
there, Naveen realized he's not a fast bowler.
Yes,
I
so I'm
remember.
not
You
fast
applied
enough.
in the first year or later on?
No, I applied in the third year. I applied in the third year.
So I might have been there around like with a notepad with a A4 sheet noting down players' names. So I was part of the cricket team in third year, so I was there in the selection trials. If it was first year, I would have
Ah,
been one of the guys giving the trial. So yeah, I don't know if you happen to recognize me from then to now, but I was there somewhere holding a notepad for sure.
Oh, nice. Naveen's going to
no, man,
ask you very hard
I was
questions now.
there. I was there in such an inferiority complex. Like, oh my God, I'm bowling so slow. I used to play with my friends, and then
Uh,
there I used to be like the second or third fastest bowler, and then I always used to get the new ball. But basically, it's a tennis ball, so I used to bowl like first over.
uh-huh.
So,
Right.
so I had that slight confidence. But then I went into the NITK cricket team. Oh my God, these all folks are way too good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Same thing
Yes.
over here. So, like in my school, right? There's this very popular Karnataka coaching institute. I forgot what it's called, but that's where all the kids used to go. And in fifth grade, there was this guy who was bowling like full fast balls with a leather ball. And I was in fifth grade, he was in fourth grade, and we went for the this one, the selections. It was like a
Okay.
inter-house match, and we went for the selections. And they gave me batting. That batting had only one stump, okay. And this guy's in fourth grade. He was bowling for me. He bowled fast ball. I couldn't hit it. It hit the one stump that was there.
Oh God.
It was
Oh
so
God.
embarrassing, man. But I realized that day is like maybe cricket is not for me. That day I switched teams in football. Football though was somewhat better, but somehow cricket never landed for me. So always when I meet other people who do play good cricket, who have a lot of appreciation, because I don't think people appreciate like the technical aspect of the sport as much, because it's become such a mainstream
Definitely.
thing. But yeah, so when did you start technically appreciating cricket?
So I think that would be around 11th grade. So until 11th grade, I was just a guy who was, a very delusional guy, I would call. Like I would see player interviews, like, yeah, I used to do this, don't think anything, go bowl fast. And I would think I'm bowling fast, but I don't think I really was. And I was kind of overweight that time. Like I wasn't working on my fitness or anything. So if I bowl one over well, I could not come back and bowl the second over. So from 10th, 11th grade onwards is when I started to, work on my cardio and my fitness and like, my bowling action. And I started to mark my run up. So until that, you'd be surprised. I've played a lot of leather ball matches, but I've never actually gone and marked my run up. I would just go to a random point and start running and bowling from there.
That's
From
vibes.
11th is when I started to realize I have to mark my run up. I have to, take the same number of steps every ball, which for a leather ball cricketer they teach like when you're in first grade. So you learn all of these basics. I never had formal coaching, and it was also my mistake because I never picked up from my friends who had formal coaching. I didn't take their advices enough. So from 11th standard is when I was 16 years old is when I started technically, trying to make my bowling better. But what people don't understand, be it cricket, be it football, be it any sport, to hit one shot to bowl one ball is not difficult. To train your body to do that in the same way for all of the balls is very difficult. So, say a Josh Hazelwood, he has a very simple action. If you probably try Josh Hazelwood's action and try to bowl one ball outside off stump, you can. But when your body is getting tired and you're bowling 10, 12 overs a day, to do it on the 12th over is where that practice and that, where you're working, honing your skills, that comes in. That's what separates probably the district level players to the state to the national, national to the international. The immense amount of practice that you put into your craft. So those things you
So
learn in when we came to college. Also, you realized the amount of people that are there. What you said about the trials. When I came to college, I thought everyone was studying for JE. I had practiced a bit, so I thought I'll have the edge over everyone else. I was damn wrong. I went there and I saw so many first year students, and all of them are, switched on. Like from the first ball that they're bowling, they're quick, they're on off stump, they're bowling well. Like I had to get my A game on from the selection time to get into the team. So that was a harsh initiation, but eventually turned out good.
nice, man, nice. I think another thing is people tend to overlook the importance of coaching, because everyone has that sense of pride that no, I came by myself and I'm self-taught and all of that. But I think regardless of what type of sport you're playing, the impact of coaching is very, very real, because it's not just that you have a great coach who's telling you all the right techniques. It's that you get to regularly interact with the other people who are very serious about the sport, and that makes all the difference in the long run. So that is something I've seen back to back again and again, whether it's JE coaching, cricket coaching, any other sport. Like people who go to that environment of like focused people, they get to get ahead of their peers much faster than anyone else. So uh,
Definitely.
yeah, but
I
the
mean,
fact that
it's
you're
it's kind of
self-taught,
misunderstood actually. So when they say like there are players like Dhoni who's not very technically correct, like he's not a copybook player, but he's very successful. Bumrah who's not copybook, very successful. But even if they're not copybook, their basics are still the same. You see, when MS is batting, his head is still above his legs. His stance is still the same width. The basics that you need to follow to be able to get into a better position to hit the ball. Like I'm going a little technical for cricket aspect, but it'll work for football, it'll work for tennis, it'll work for everything. Even for Bumrah, when he's running in, it's it's common sense that if you want to bowl the ball towards the stump, you run in towards the stump. You run in a straight line and you finish where you want to put the ball. So those are things that you will realize if you don't go to a coaching, you'll realize that through immense amount of mistakes you make. Because everything looks very easy on television. Like Bumrah is doing it, you're seeing 100 replays. You actually step on the ground, you realize, okay, what this guy is doing for one ball is not as simple as it looks. Like the basics that I am talking about, if someone's starting cricket today, it will take them 6 months to implement that properly. So those things are very coaching oriented. Like you cannot be like, okay, these players succeeded without being technically correct, even I can. There's certain things that science demands. Your body will function in a certain way only if you do certain things right. So I feel that distinction is very important for people, young players to make.
So, at what point did you feel like you're now at a not just a casual player anymore? You're a bit of a more serious player, and you want to take this more seriously. Was it after coming to an ITK cricket team, or before only you felt like this is something you could? This is more than just something you're playing casually. You can take it a bit more seriously.
I think performance-wise, it was in NITK, but I was very serious about it before that also, in the sense that I would never consider cricket as a hobby. Like right now with my job, yes, it has become a hobby, but it's something that when I'm at the ground, I know that this is going to be like a very good 3-4 hours. Like I want these 3-4 hours to be a lot of fun. I want to give everything I have because from a very long time I've dedicated a lot of time to watching, to playing cricket, to wanting to become a better player. So from my side as a passion, it was always there. After coming to NITK, there was a time period where I felt very lost because I was not able to cope up with the quality of players that I found over there. In my school or in my smaller circle, I was always the best player. I think somewhat true to what Naveen said. When I came into the team, I was like, okay, now what? I was only bowling in my apartment or wherever with tennis ball. I never focused on fielding. And here they are like throwing skyrocket high catches. And you're supposed to catch everything and you're supposed to do it every single day. And your fingers are swollen, your fingers are bent. And after doing all of that, you get like 10 minutes of bowling. And your confidence is already low. You're like, I've dropped 5 catches and now I'm supposed to go and bowl. And I'm supposed to go and bowl right at the end of the next session because I was the first year. I was like a junior. So obviously, I do not command a position in the team back then. There is already a set 11. They are just picking up whatever other players they want. So you have to be that second, third, fourth bowler for a few months before establishing yourself. So that was a very great learning curve for me, those 3-4 months, to go to practice and know that I might not be in the 11, but I just have to go out and play, practice. So, carrying drinks for your team. It is something I would never have imagined myself doing in school. I was like, if I don't play the match, why should I go? I remember my first year, there was a match where I was not in the 11 and I decided to stay in the hostel room. And our captain was a very calm guy. He was also a triple E, your senior, Kirtan Paki. Kirtan, yeah, so I don't remember his Kirtan Reddy. So he was a very polite guy, and he sent one of the very, very harsh text message in the group that if you guys can't come and cheer for the team, how do you expect to play for the team? And all of those sort. And I was damn scared, and I went to the ground. I just sat with my team playing, and I was very disappointed why that thought didn't come from me from within. Like I'm part of the team. Even if I'm not playing, it's my responsibility to go cheer up the boys, go get water, help them out. And I decided to sit in the hostel room. My first year, I was not a very good team man. I wasn't a very good cricketer also. But when came back home for COVID, I actually, practiced a lot on my own. So that really helped once I came back.
I think similar experience from my side also. I think it's a bit of the JE mentality, probably that you do your own thing, and if it doesn't, other things don't really matter much. But I think when you come to college, you join whether it's sports or any other clubs or technical, non-technical, you get the sense that how much more further you can go if you're aligned with the team and if you're working with the team. So I think every one of us have had that realization at some point that like being on your own can only take you so far, and you need to
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
work with
There's
each other.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
There's this famous quote they keep saying in my company. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go with a team. But we as a company, we want to go fast and we want to go further. So these corporate kulips are always there. But
Yeah, bro. As all managers will say,
Why
manager will
does
say
this
anything.
sound like something that would come on WhatsApp, like WhatsApp forward
no,
that
not
your
It's like,
manager
yeah,
sends you?
exactly what the manager keeps saying. So I also had a realization that see, I always used to think I'm really good alone. Huh? Other people pull me down. So that I'm that better than everyone. That ego is there. But then lately, I realized I should have played some organized team sport back in my formative years, so that
yeah.
you have this that that teamwork, camaraderie, those things are all that embed in
Yeah.
yourself. So
And like, think about it, right? Like, say any sport, you go and play football, but you play with a bunch of strangers. Compared to like you play football with like your childhood friends, what's gonna be more fun? Like, if you're not bonding with your teammates beyond the level of just playing, playing can only be that much fun. Like, you can be very passionate, you can be very technical, but at the end of the day, what do I want when I'm going to play cricket? I want to have a good time. When we were kids, we played because our friends and us had nothing to do in the evenings. So if that can be replicated, if like an international cricketer can do that, if Virat and Shikhar Dhawan are friends from under 19, when they play together, if they have the same feeling back, what better than getting paid millions of dollars and having the feeling of being a kid again? You know, the dream life.
yes,
So that's something I learned.
yes. So that's that's what you said, bro. Talking about going back to the kid I was. Right. So that's when we saw something like what Kohli said in 2021, where he was into that captain controversy. People wanted to sack him. He said, I don't want to be sacked. He said, I was removed over a call. And then there was a phase between 2021 and 2022. Kohli was like, not himself. He was sacked
Yeah.
out of captaincy. And
Yeah.
then after 1 year, we used to see him every other month in a pilgrimage, in a temple, we coming from Anushka, all these weird motivational quotes. Same time, he got a kid. He got his second kid, I think, no, first kid. So, and then suddenly he came back after 1 year. He left all that ego of like, I was removed from captaincy. I want to go back and play. I love cricket. And then he came back and then he started scoring. So that phase of when he came back to that zone in 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
So, so going into that, what are your thoughts on the captaincy shift between 2021 and 2022, between Rohit Sharma, Kohli to Rohit Sharma? How was that handled?
Definitely could have been handled better. The starting itself was very tricky because before a World Cup, if a captain says it's going to be my last World Cup as captain, you can only imagine what the dressing room environment is. It's a big tournament. You're going to play a World Cup, I think the first one after COVID. And your captain is like, this is my last tournament. The coach is like, I'm going away after this. And we all know what happened in the World Cup. It was like one of the worst World Cups to have seen as a fan. Lost to Pakistan, 110 all out to New Zealand. So that is where it didn't start off properly. There was very evidently a lack of communication. Virat said he wanted to step down from T20. They said that he's going to be out of one day as well. Eventually, the test captaincy also he resigned. I am not sure if it was actually a resignation or they didn't want him there. So if they don't want him there, you have to be open enough to admit that you don't want him there. Like, you can't have the president of your cricket board saying one thing and the captain of your cricket team saying another thing, like going against each other. I'm not picking sides. I understand I've not watched Ganguly play, but I know he has done a lot for Indian cricket. So if he's doing something, there might be some merit to it. Not going to pick sides. But what I'm going to say is, when you're running a cricket team or we're running an organization, two people cannot run it. Like, there has to be one leader and there has to be one guy who supports. So Shastri Kohli was the definite leader. When you have two strong characters together, it's never going to work out. It happened with Kohli and Kumble. Kohli got his say
Yes.
back then. Kohli got to choose the coach, which worked very well for India. But from Kumble's point of view, he did nothing wrong. In the 1 year that he was the coach, he did nothing wrong to be sacked. You know, he had his own way of doing things. Similarly, when it came to Kohli and Ganguly, there were two strong characters there. So two strong characters can never run a cricket team. You have to have one strong character and one person who's going to do things behind the scenes. I think we kind of saw the similar tussle between Gambhir and Rohit Sharma in the fifth test, even though it was not on media. But the press conference where Gambhir says that, will Rohit Sharma play? And he's like, you'll get to know at the toss, is not a very good space for a cricket team to be in, where you're not clear if your captain is going to play next day or not. And even if your captain is sitting out, your coach is not ready to say it in the press conference. So,
See, so
yeah,
we
go ahead.
went right into a big fish of BGT. So, so yes, so I agree to that. But that also comes with all the celebrity cultures we built around this big players. You cannot use the word. So you cannot use the word dropped to certain players. You can use rested, you can use injury, you can use back spasm, neck spasm, back niggle, that niggle. So there are certain players who you cannot use the word drop. Okay, that's huge media influence in cricket today.
Right, right. I mean,
If
I'll
you
ask
hear
you
the
one
word,
simple question.
yeah,
Like you say that Rohit Sharma is a very big player, definitely, like the superstar, like the captain of Indian team. But do you think with the kind of impact that Yuvraj Singh had for Indian cricket, would you rate Yuvraj Singh equally with Rohit Sharma, at least in limited overs, like as a match winner? Because man of the
I
tournament
pick
in
Rohit
World Cup
Sharma.
final, played with cancer. But
I'm a huge,
isn't
huge
Yuvraj
Kohli
Singh
fan.
in the same?
I pick Rohit.
Yeah, but you would pick, I'm not saying pick Rohit Sharma or Yuvraj Singh. I'm saying, would you place Yuvraj Singh in the same caliber of match winner, having won two World Cups for India, one T20 World Cup and the man of the tournament in the actual 2011 World Cup? Like, I would definitely place him in the top five match winners for India in one day cricket. So,
Top
but he
five
could be
match.
dropped.
Now, tell me your top five matches for India in T20 or in ODI.
For India, match winners, like people who I have seen, I think Virat would be number one, definitely.
Okay.
I would pick if you remove the captaincy part of it from MS Impact, I would Yuvraj Singh as a player. I would pick second, MS third. If you put captaincy into it, MS goes second, and then it's Rohit Sharma because of the recent 2 years, the impact that he has had in the recent 2 years. I think that tops everything else. The fifth one, I'm not sure. Sachin maybe. I've not watched him play, but record wise, yes. But these four, I watched them play, so I can rate them accordingly. And I feel
Just
So
like
you wouldn't put Bumrah?
Bumrah in one day cricket, just purely based on records, I don't really remember a standout season that Bumrah had. Bumrah's always going to give you 10 overs, 40 runs, 2 wickets. Bumrah, as a match winner, if you think about it, you would consider the series that he had in PGT. Like that is, according to Bumrah standard, is what I'm talking if I have to rate him in top five. Like Bumrah is, there's no day that Bumrah is going to bowl 10 overs and gets hit for 65, 70. Hardly
yes, yes.
ever gonna happen. He's like
So
your
if
Vance.
you're yes,
But top five match winner, not in my book in ODIs so far. T20s,
if you
sure.
want to take ODIs, if you want to take go about stats, you can put Mohammad Shami there.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Most wickets in two World Cups, two ODI World Cups, and almost
Probably. Yeah,
highest
he
in the
has the
cricket.
most wickets in all World Cups also for India. So my point was
Yes.
Yuvraj Singh was always the guy who stood up against Australia. Like we won all the big matches because of him. He was always the guy who stood up. And he could also bowl. But he got dropped. Even after he recovered from cancer, he came back. They used the word dropped on him. Shikhar Dhawan got dropped.
Yes,
Like
that
they called him ICC tournament. So I don't understand this protectiveness that comes to Virat and Rohit. I mean, they're definite match winners, but if Shikhar Dhawan can get dropped, and when Shikhar Dhawan got dropped, do you think Rohit Sharma's performance back then was much better than Shikhar Dhawan's? Like last 2 years, it has been, but in the exact moment when Shikhar Dhawan got dropped, 2022 December, I think Rohit Sharma was struggling pretty bad. So you choose
he
to
was a
pick
captain.
one, you choose to drop one player, and understandably so, they wanted to give Shubman Gill a chance. But if you can do it with someone like Shikhar Dhawan, who's been a man of the tournament in Champions Trophy, highest run getter, like always plays in World Cups, every other player should also be immune to the same amount of criticism as what I'm.
Yes, and no, you're right. You can at the same moment you cannot drop both Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma. Like yes, they carried Indian batting lineup for a decade, from 2013 to 2022. At the same time, you cannot drop two people. You cannot move on from both of them at the same time. So one of them was dropped, and see by that this was 22. Rohit Sharma had won 2019 and 2020 as captain. So there was that thing also growing as well. Like he has won five trophies as captain and six as a player. So that narrative was also there that was helping Rohit Sharma. So it's not
That
just
is
about
true. He had
performance.
one IPL, but like if you look at it just as a captaincy standpoint, captaining a franchisee for 2 months and captaining an Indian team for 12 months are two very different things. So the kind of pressure that comes with Indian captaincy, like where you have to cater to BCCI, you have to cater to your coach, you have to cater to your players, doesn't always come in a franchise situation. Because especially with Rohit Sharma being an MI guy out and out, So that pressure could come to someone like Shreyas Iyer when he went to KKR because he came with an expectation, he came with a reputation. But it wouldn't really go on to Rohit Sharma. So all I'm saying is popularity becoming a factor in you choosing who to drop and who not to? Because stats don't give you much of an up and down. Like Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma. I'm not saying drop both. I'm only questioning if you've dropped Shikhar Dhawan on what standpoint, on what basis. If you're talking about age, they're the same age. If you're talking about average, they almost have the same average. If you're talking about impact till 2022, they had almost the same impact. It wasn't like Rohit Sharma was head and shoulders above Shikhar Dhawan. Last 2 years, yes, appreciate how Rohit Sharma has turned his game around. Commendable job to do it after becoming 36 years old to give us quick starts. But
So
is
just one
popularity
more.
a factor in dropping players? Is my question.
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Only one more. Instagram followers. So Rohit Sharma had more Instagram followers, so that's why keeping him in the team. So keeping him in the team. Now I won't question his stats.
Yeah.
His
No.
position in
So
the ODI squad, but
so
test.
there's discrepancy in that also, right? Like you think about Chahal, popular guy on Insta also, very good bowler. I don't see where Chahal went wrong. Why do they never pick him anymore? Like where is he? Why is he not there in the team? Tell me one patch of Chahal that was like exceptionally bad that you had to drop him from the entire setup. India still plays Kuldeep. They still need leg spinners. So why is Chahal not there? It's not like Kuldeep gives you something extra with the bat. Like Kuldeep versus Chahal, where did Kuldeep win and Chahal not? And Kuldeep is not an Insta. Chahal is. So
See, sometimes performance. See, Kuldeep is left arm Chinaman. Tell me one other left arm Chinaman in the world right now.
right, Kuldeep was left arm Chinaman in 2019 also when he was dropped for like 2 years when Chahal was in the team. And they weren't
Yes,
willing to give Kuldeep any chance at all. So I don't understand where the criterion for dropping and selection happens. Like I know only 11 players can play, but how can you just remove Chahal from the mix and not get him into the squad also? Neither for your the secondary series, nor for the primary series. So after Chahal left RCB, I don't think there's a direct correlation, but his popularity did go little low. But he's still a pretty popular guy. I mean, but
that's
you
a nice
you
correlation. That's a nice
you draw
correlation.
his career graph when he left RCB, it was almost done. So I mean, selectors can't be looking at popularity, right? Like Nitish Kumar Reddy was not popular; he became popular after MCG. Nitish Kumar Reddy's
Correct.
popularity was there in IPL, but after MCG, that was pure drama. Like Siraj defending three balls, three most important defenses of his career. That was pure drama. So that's
Siraj was
one
dropped.
of the things that I really
Siraj was
want.
dropped.
Yeah. Now
Everyone was
Siraj
dropped.
was dropped, right? For the Champions Trophy. Siraj, and you use the word dropped is my biggest concern. So there were stats coming up that in the last 3 years, Siraj is the most bowled Indian bowler. And you
And
cannot use
then
the word dropped apparently with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli because you can't. Like we all know,
you
it's an
can't.
unsaid rule. So why
Yeah,
can't you just say Siraj was rested? Why do you have to use the word dropped for Siraj? Because we know he was overworked. He was bowling with a shorter run up. He was tired. People said
and then
Bumrah
your
was bowled
captain
into the
comes out
dust. He was. Yeah.
yeah. The captain comes out and says Siraj is useless after the new ball. Siraj has no skill in old ball. That's what he came out and said when he
Yeah.
was
So
when he was out for the England
that
series.
that hypocrisy, or not even hypocrisy, like the inconsistency in selection is what I've not been able to understand. Like when you talk about IPL also, in the last few years, a lot of good players have come through season by season, good players, but they've not been given long runs. Like Natarajan
Yes.
got one injury and Natarajan was out. There was this guy called Karthik Tyagi who bowled, I think, for Rajasthan Royals once. He defended 6 runs in the last over. Pretty good, quick bowler.
Four Yorker nailed 4 Yorkers.
Yeah,
I think
nailed 4 Yorkers. Yes. And that was at that time becoming the new El Clasico, Punjab versus RR, all close matches. So he nailed those 4 Yorkers. And then he went to Australia as a net bowler. And then all of a sudden, he's nowhere in the scheme of things. Umran Malik, he was bowling 156, 157, directly bought into the team. Where is Umran Malik now? Like, if you get them into the team, you're supposed to, work hard on your fast bowlers. You're supposed to work on their injuries. They're going to get injured. But every season, one wonder comes up, and then they go back into, like oblivion. I don't know. They're just not there. Like I'm really happy that this guy Weber scored 100, but I really want them to look after him very well. He's 14 years old. Like, a lot of people are come from the IPL's system, and then they get lost. Unmukh Chand was one such player. Under 19 World Cup, IPL, advertisements, and then
You
yeah,
remember that advertisement with Dhoni and Virat, like, I'm the next captain, I'm that captain, I'm that captain, and
yeah,
the India is,
yeah.
no, I'm the next captain.
That was
Yeah.
right before the IPL, right before Brett Lee bowled that first
Oh
ball.
my God, the first ball of IPL, man. Glad those are good days of IPL. So if we discuss this side of things, we can keep going on. So one thing I wanted to add is yes, see, IPL is what they brand where talent meets opportunity. What each year some guys performing really, really, really well. What do? The guy is in form. You take him to the next level, and then he does not perform there. What do? There's another guy knocking the door. There's another guy who keeps knocking the door, who keeps knocking the door. What do? You have to play that guy.
So
Do you back this
two
guy
things.
or do you play the new guy? That is a dilemma. There's no right answer here.
No, like two things. There's if the same players of international cricket are playing IPL, is what you're advertising it as. So everyone, the best in the world, come and play the IPL. If you're playing well in the IPL, you're more often than not going and playing well in international cricket, which was happening till say 2018, 19. The Hardik Pandyas, the Jasprit Bumrahs, they came in from the rank and they took to international cricket like fish to water. They were there. You knew they belong. But what's happening now is the pitches are being curated to get higher viewership. The impact player rule has come along. You're curating the game in a way to cater to the audience, not really cater to the cricketing needs. So when you do well in the IPL, it's not really a confirmed statement that you will do well in international cricket because the simulation of international cricket is not happening back here. Earlier, that was the case. It was basically cricket happening. So when you see Chris Gayle getting 175, it's a one-off match. There is a thing of awe for that, like 175 runs. Because normally you would get 150, 160. So that is normal simulation of international cricket. When you had a T20 World Cup, you did not have 290 runs being scored there. You cannot have 290 runs being scored in a World Cup because you're playing in the same 3-4 pitches
Yeah,
again and again. So once when you say talent,
hasn't been scored. Oh, I'm sorry. I think
I
there was
think
some internet issue. So I said,
yeah, go on.
yeah, so I said 290 runs has not been scored yet. 2026 World Cup is happening in India. It will happen.
I am not really sure about that. It might, and you never know, but when you're playing in India, you're playing on the same pitches again and again. So there are 50, 60 matches. And you will not have as many grounds for international cricket as you're having for IPL. Like you'll have a selected few grounds. So the grounds will become tired after a point. And there's no impact player. You cannot play 8 or 9 batsmen. You're playing 7. There's always pressure. In World Cups, the scores are bound to get low. There'll be one off. I'm not saying there won't be a 290, 300. There'll be a one off. But more often than not, you won't have that situation. You'll have a 160, 170 game where you have to bowl very well and defend that. Our World Cup final, we scored 174 runs, 175. We had to defend that. That is how it's going to be happening in international. So when you're saying when talent meets opportunity, you have to also simulate the international cricket conditions. Otherwise, your talent will not get to know what it's about to face once it goes to the next level. And that is what IPL was being branded as, and it was. For a very long time, it was. That you shared the dressing room with AB de Villiers, you faced Dale Steyn in the tournament, you had like your top players, Mitchell Johnson's playing, Kevin Peterson's playing, and it was the same rules as international cricket. I am not on board with impact player at all. I mean, call me a purist, call me an old school guy, but I don't think they should be experimenting with the impact player rule. India needs all rounders, and India's needed all rounders for 30 years, and you get a rule that takes out all rounders from the game. How are we gonna get Hardik Pandya again? We have one all rounder. Shivam Dube didn't bowl once, I guess, in the IPL last year, and then he came to play the World Cup as an all rounder. How much bowling does he have behind his back? Washington Sundar doesn't get a place in the playing 11 of an IPL team, plays for India in all formats.
Washington
So,
Sundar is a mystery, man. Sundar is a mystery that we need to decode. Guy cannot play as a batter, does not qualify as a bowler, but he always plays for India in the top 15 in all
yes,
three formats.
So he's as a complete package, right? Like you just break it down, Washington play as a complete batter. I don't think he would be a very good fit in this impact player role. Playing only as a bowler, still very good, 4 over bowler. But if you combine that, if you combine like 20 runs in 10 balls, 4 overs for 20 runs, man, pretty valuable player. So you have to combine those pieces. Like if you watched IPL in 2012 to 15, I think KKR had this player called Rajat Bhatia and Yusuf Pathan. So Rajat Bhatia was a very good batsman, but he would bat at number 7, number 8. He was more of a 4 over dibbly dobbly bowler. So he would
Yeah.
have these variations and he would not give you more than 25 to 30 runs in 4 overs because of the Eden Gardens wicket. It was kind of a spinning wicket and he would bowl cutters. Yusuf Pathan was this basher who would give you 2 to 3 overs in between. Do you think both of these players would have fit into the scheme of things right now with the impact player rule? Like neither can you play Rajat Bhatia the complete 4 over bowler because there might be a better 4 over bowler in your dressing room. Nor can you play Yusuf Pathan as a complete batsman because you can just play a pure batsman. Why would you play someone who will give you 3 overs and if he gives you 50 runs with the bat, it's a bonus. So that entire collection packaged players are being less right now, which is not good for Indian cricket. Like I would much rather have Washington playing every match because Washington is the guy who will play for India eventually.
So it's not just about the impact rule. So look at IPL today. Where are finger spinners? Where are off spinners? There are two off spinners in the country right now, Washington Sundar and Ravi Ashwin. Huh? Ashwin is benched. Washington Sundar is benched. So where is the finger spinner in the country? There's no finger spinner. Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
it's
right arm
also
finger
it's
spinner.
also the rights of wrist spinner. So that's why that's a very rare commodity. Finger spinner is a very rare commodity. That's one of the reasons why he goes up the ranks, why he gets picked for the country.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Like
why.
finger spinners, like there'll always be that debate. When T20 cricket came in, they thought that finger spinners are not going to work. Any spinner's not going to work. But if you look at the top few wicket takers in the IPL, I think Ashwin and Harbhajan Singh both will be there somewhere or the other. Like top 8, 10 easily. Like two very good finger spinners. They told mystery spinners, I mean, leg spinners would not work because they give one loose ball every over. Amit Mishra is right up there. Piyush Chawla's up there. So, like, people will find. Yeah, Chahal, sorry, forgot Chahal. Yeah, Chahal is right up there. So I named like 5 spinners, and I'm 100% sure top 10 highest wicket takers of IPL, these 5 names will be there. Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but I'm 100% sure these people will be there. And then there's Sunil Narayan. Yes, you could quote him as a mystery spinner, but he did a job. Like even after his action was banned, he came back as a off spinner, but he was a smart bowler. He knew how to like bowl 6 different balls or bowl to your field. So, bowling to your field is a very important facet in international cricket. But if you have grounds that are 60 meters long, I don't think bowling to your field really comes into question because he's going to clear the field anyways. So when you're playing international cricket, if you play on Australia, you're having like a 90-95 meter boundary. Even if you're not really a very potent bowler, you can just keep the ball outside the off stump, keep like a cover, long off, deep point, and you've covered the boundary. You can bowl disciplined bowling. So I want to see those facets in the game. I don't want to see a place where the broadcasters demand the kind of matches they want because that is where we are killing the inclusivity of the game. You want to see like I want to see a 250 game one off. Like it's not like I'm against batsmen or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm a bowler. I obviously like bowling, but I like seeing big sixes being hit. But if you're on a span of 10 games, 2 games having 250 is good enough. 2 games having 130 would be good, and the rest 8 can be a 140 to 180 game. It's gonna be fun. Like that's how IPL survived for the first 12, 13 years of its lifespan. That's how it
Ishan,
was.
Ishan, I have a question. So you
Yep.
made a really good point there, but why not look at it like this, right? Because ultimately, what drives cricket is obviously the spirit of cricket itself, but what actually keeps the sport alive? Because spirit of cricket is not fundamentally less in, let's say, the England team compared to the Indian team, right? But what changes between India and England is the viewership, right?
Right. Right.
Now, if viewership is driving the sport of the big stage, don't you think that eventually it rules like impact player and all will find its way into international cricket? Because ultimately, if the sport has to stay alive, then all the other countries will also align saying that, okay, we also want to increase viewership for, let's say, international games and so on. Let's adopt a rule set that gives us more viewership. In that sense, don't you feel like impact player could be like an innovation rather than than something that puts us down?
We had, I think, around 16 seasons without the impact player rule, and I think only 2 seasons with the impact player rule. And has there been like a drastic change in viewership? It's not like the kind of format that I mentioned just now, like the 10 matches, two of them being 250, two being 130, the rest being 140 to 180. I think that IPL was watched by everyone in India. Like it was a packaged product. So what IPL was in the first 10 years was it was like a carnival. So you have advertisements, you made songs around it. It was like a blend of, cricket and Bollywood and all of them coming together. And I loved that. I loved that Bollywood stars would come in the opening ceremony. But when it came to the actual matches, it was cricket and it was still a lot of fun. Like the moments, like say if I want to mention the top moments of IPL, or even tell you to mention the top moments of IPL, you would pick it from probably say 2015, 2018. 2018 was a very good season. I'm a little biased. I'm a CSK fan. But yeah, those I would pick moments from there. I was not really finding those moments as such in the last 2 years of the IPL. So viewership is something that they have to keep in mind, and they did. T20 cricket is all about viewership, but viewership was also there in the MCG Test match that happened. So the viewers also want to see a bit of diversity. Unless you're just catering to a bunch of like 12 to 14-year-olds who've just started watching cricket and who just want to see fours and sixes being hit. I think a little mature cricket audience would love to see some amount of diversity in the games. I don't think anyone's going to switch off the TV if a team is chasing 150 and they need like 40 in last 30 balls with like 5 wickets in hand. I don't think anyone is switching off the TV. They're going to watch. They know that might even be a super over. There was a match, Mumbai versus Punjab, that went into two super overs. And I think that was like a 160 or a 170 chase.
So
So I'm not against the
adding to
viewership
that,
model. Yeah.
yeah. So just though we touched two super overs, I was in the game where India played Afghanistan for two super overs.
Right, right. Yeah.
I was in
It was a
stadium for
pretty good
that.
match.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very
We
good.
were 23 for
Uh,
4. India were 23 for 4. From there, we went on to hit 223. 223 or 225.
yeah.
Rohit
So there
Sharma
were
century.
different phases to the game. I remember it was like a collapse in the power play. And then Rohit,
Yes.
I think he scored about 35 or 36 runs in the last over. There was a no ball or something. 37 runs in the last over, if I'm not wrong. There
I,
was a no
I don't
ball in
think he didn't
between.
score. I don't think he scored 37 runs.
No, there was a no ball that was bowled in between, and Rohit Sharma we were around 183 or something in 19 overs, and we ended with 220 or 221. I have to check the exact numbers. And
Okay.
Afghanistan almost chased it down also. So you see where I'm going with the different phases in the game. I don't want to see like a 200 for 2, 250 for 2. 23 from 4 to 200 is like such a beautiful game. Everyone's
Yeah,
invested.
yeah, yeah.
And then Afghanistan chasing it like so that's why one day cricket is also dying because there's no tempo to the game anymore. So one day cricket has two new balls and it's just milking singles again and again. Earlier there was a power play, something would happen. The last 40 overs, if you remember the 2011 World Cup, and if you see the highlights, the ball was almost brown in the 45th, 46th over because only one ball was being used for 50 overs, and that ball had reverse swing. So when you had death bowlers bowling Yorkers with the ball reversing, you gave an equal opportunity to the batsmen and the bowlers to, like level the playing field. Now what's happening is 10 overs they're hitting very hard. Last 10 overs they're hitting very hard. 30 overs everyone's sleeping because they're milking the singles. There's no
Yeah.
tempo to the game. The India New Zealand final was actually a very good game because India had a good start. New Zealand pulled it back, and then there was a pressure situation. So the middle overs, maybe because Dubai turns, they pulled it back. So how they're going to revive one day cricket is something I have no idea. But if cricket goes along with one tempo, it's not far away that people start getting bored of excess T20 cricket also. The reason why viewership is a lot is India has people everywhere. Even if 1% of our people watch, you're going to mint money. So it's not
Yes,
really the
yes.
product that is succeeding. It is just that they're marketing it to a wider audience, and small population of a wider audience, even if they watch, is going to give you revenue. Because personally, if you ask me, the product IPL was much better when we had it, probably like when we were in school. And you can make an argument that it's the nostalgia hitting me, but I enjoy international cricket even now. So I would like to watch international cricket even now, but IPL to me is not appealing enough anymore to invest every evening on it.
So I draw an analogy to it. Okay. So
Yeah,
let's go to WWE. Okay. You remember WWE. So
yeah,
back in the 90s and early in those attitude era, they used to do so many different things. Okay. They used to I don't even want to name those things, okay? So many adult kind of things, okay? Huh?
yeah,
Huh? And then slowly things changed. So the things evolved. So maybe you are not that target audience anymore. The target audience is the guys between 14 and 18, 19 years old who go to school, go to college, who have time to watch. Maybe we
definitely,
crossed that stage. That's why we don't find it relevant. Still, there's a majority of segment who enjoy it, and the game will evolve to always cater to the majority of the audience, and then the game will always survive.
definitely. The game will evolve. The game will survive. I'm sure. But yeah, to some extent, like there's always has to be a
Yes.
boundary. Like when they made 20-over cricket, there was a recommendation for 10-over cricket also. There was this tournament called Hong Kong Super Sixes. This was basically 5-over matches being played on a artificial turf. I don't know if anyone
Yes.
of you have watched, but it was a 5-over match scoring 100, 120 runs. So there has to be a point wherein evolution meets the essence of the original game. Like I'm not against evolution. Definitely should happen. 4-day test matches are going to be a thing in the future. Like you are not going to have 5-day test matches because teams don't have enough money to play. When South Africa says that they don't have money to host test matches, so they are giving priority to SA T20, I find nothing wrong in it. Because they actually don't have money to play test matches. The money comes from SA T20. They have to give priority to that. And then eventually use that money to fund the test teams. But at the same time, you have to keep the essence of the game alive. Like, I don't see a place where 12 people playing 12 people happens in international cricket because you can't have that in test match. Like there has to be a uniformity in cricket, right? Like international cricket. How will you fit in an impact player in a test match scenario? Like just
Yes.
bats and goes and then bowls and then goes again. So that it's I don't know. Like it doesn't add to the entertainment value. You're just trying to fit in one formula to all of the things. So I feel like 11 aside, each side works. Let's just keep it that way for now. The run scoring and all of that things, I understand the viewership will dictate what they want to do. And that's okay. That's cool with it. But after a point, your bowlers are going to stop bowling. So you have to realize you have to keep them in the game. They were complaining last year they
Yes.
don't want to get mauled 4 overs for 70 runs. And I know neither you both nor me want to see a bowling machine bowling. Just keep a bowling machine and just keep. That was that. In IPL, you remember that longest six challenge used to happen after matches. They used to come and hit. I can't see cricket becoming all of that for 4 hours. So eventually, you'll have to
True,
cater
man.
to my set of people also. Like you have to keep bowlers also in the game. So yeah.
True. Very true. While talking, you mentioned your favorite team is CSK and you are slightly biased. And you also mentioned 2018 is your favorite season. So if I had to ask you to pick of the five trophies that CSK has won, you have to pick the best one. No, one twist you cannot pick 2018.
2018.
2018. That's what I said. You should not pick 2018.
Okay. I cannot pick 2018. So the second best would be, I think it would be a tie between 2010 and 2021. 2010 was very good because we were almost out and Dhoni got us through in that match in Dharamshala. He punches his helmet. I was a
I
kid
know.
back then, but I remember us being down. We were done. We weren't supposed to qualify. We came, we defeated, I think, Deccan Chargers in the semifinals or RCB in the semifinals, and then that final versus Mumbai where Pollard was almost taking it away. Like I've seen Pollard do it at least 15 times after that. I'm just happy that on that day of the final, Pollard hit that ball straight to Matthew Hayden and he caught that catch. That is where I think it started. Dhoni keeping the mid off
Uh,
straighter to Pollard and
Straight
went
behind
right.
the bowler. Oh my God. Yes.
So, and 2021, because, people are criticizing CSK right now. CSK were this bad in 2020 also. They were
Yes.
pathetic. I remember that season. And they weren't willing to change. They were like senior folks. And MS Dhoni made some comment about spark in youngsters, and that
Far.
sparked a debate, like a huge debate. So then to come back to pick Moeen Ali, to pick Ruturaj Gaikwad, to pick the youngsters, and actually go on to win that tournament, that was a very very good comeback, very strong comeback, because you still stuck to your principles. You still had Faf du Plessis in the team. You still had Raidu in the team. It was still almost a dad's army only. Jadeja was there, Dhoni was there. I think Bravo also played, but at the same
Bravo.
time you made enough changes to correct your mistakes. So that, I think both of them would be tied second, but I don't think anything beats 2018. Yeah, that was fairy tale. That was just meant to be. Like you could do anything and CSK would win. It's
I remember the
how can you script Bravo smashing Bumrah like on the first match?
the first game of 2018, I was about to talk about. I was about to say about the first game of 2018. It was done and dusted, and then the magic of 2018, man. 2018 was just, as you said, it was just
How
meant to
can you
happen.
script that 117 for 7, 3 overs, 50 runs to win? And how can you even imagine Bravo smashing Bumrah? Like Bravo was not even batting for us in the last 2, 3 years. Like Bravo was like number 8,
Yes,
number 9 sometimes. Then he gets out this
yes,
knock
yes.
and Kedar Jadhav comes with one leg and just scoops one ball over. So I just get goosebumps thinking of that. That was very good season. Even the final,
Final
like
was
Bhuvneshwar Kumar
final.
is bowling a spell. Yeah, it was 0 of 10. Bhuvneshwar Kumar was bowling such a good spell, and he just stuck
Yeah,
there
man.
and smashed everyone. And SRH was a very good team. So SRH 2018 might be one of the best teams to have not won an IPL. SRH 2018, CSK 2014, these two might be right up there. They had Rashid Khan, SRH, they had Williamson, I think they even had Bairstow. They had a pretty good team, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Bowling was always their strength. So
I remember
that was very
they
good.
used to come at 5 because Shikhar Dhawan and Johnny Bairstow used to open for them. So Warner used to come at 5.
Yeah, I remember a phase.
So it was,
Uh,
yes. So
yes,
if you
yes.
ask me my favorite final,
Just give me a minute. Current went on
yes,
now.
yes,
Maybe you can pause the recording. Or don't take the risk. You can just edit this video.
yes. So yeah, I mean, let's continue, man. What's there? So if you ask me my favorite final, it would be 2011 because it's RCB and then what Matthew Head, sorry, Mike Hussey and Murli Vijay did it. That is goated. That is 95 in
Yeah,
final.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is weird. And
And
Ashwin
also
before
Ashwin,
it.
Ashwin, the first over
Ashwin.
Chris Gale, bro. Oh my god. It's too good.
And
Man,
then
Ashwin to Chris Gale is a love story. My goodness. It's always Ashwin to Chris Gale.
That too, I think that was the season Chris Gale hit that 175 also. Everyone was so scared.
no,
Was
that
it
was
that season? Oh,
That was 2013, but he hit 733 runs that season. Like, it was not like Chris Gale was
that was
out of
like
form.
deadly game. That was like since 2010,
That
that
was
was
the
like
peak
deadly
of
peak
Chris
game.
Gale. Oh my God. To
And
get him out, like,
even
everyone thought, like, once he was out, RCB lost. They knew they'd lost. It wasn't going to happen
yeah,
without him.
the moment Chris Gale got out, Raina used to jump over Ashwin and then they fall to the ground. They celebrate as if they won the game.
I mean, imagine it from Dhoni's POV, right? Like, he just won a World Cup. He comes and he wins the IPL. He's like on cloud nine. And next
No,
month he goes to England
he
and
won
gets thrashed
IPL.
4-0.
He won IPL and then he went to World Cup.
No,
no,
no, it was the
World
other way
Cup
around.
and
So the World Cup happened first.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. So it was like he's on cloud nine, then goes to England, gets thrashed 4-0, goes to Australia, gets thrashed 4-0. And within 8 months, people like, should Dhoni even be captain? Like, this guy won everything 8 months back. People were behind his neck in 2012. My
Yes.
goodness, those were like, to think that the same people are treating him as a demigod. My goodness, had people supported him half as much when he actually was captain, I think things would have been so much different. When he was captain, he was like the biggest villain. I still remember the debates, and
Mhm.
everyone's like, Dhoni is not a good test captain and should be moved past him. My guy just won a World Cup less than a year back. Like, think straight. I mean, not a
Yes.
very good
So
test captain, sure, but can't be sacked, obviously.
I mean, see, if you think about Dhoni, Dhoni had a like this old school team of Seva, Gambhir, Sachin, Zahir.
Mhm.
So he won a World Cup with them. Within 1 year, he took everyone out of the team, brought all new guys. 2013, you go with very, very young team. I can still name the 11. I can still name the 11. That was the first tournament I watched like died hard. Okay. I could name all 8 teams that played in the tournament, and then I could name like 7, 8 players from that team. So, and then he goes, and then very young team, and then he goes on to win a Champions Trophy with that team. So, and then 2014 again, we went to the final. A very small
That
that
was
final spell of
yeah.
Leon Kulasekara and Lasit Malinga nailing 24 Yorkers in place, and then they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kicked
yeah.
our hopes.
That was his masterclass. I mean, like think about it from a point of view of Sri Lanka. They were there when India won the World Cup. Sangakkara was smiling behind the stumps, but he wanted to win something, and it was like Sangakkara and Jayawardene's last World Cup. So it was like it was written in the stars, and they executed their plans. Like if anyone really wants to see how to contain batsmen and bowl in depth, I think they should see what Malinga and Kulasekara did there. Not just nailing 24 Yorkers right inside the wide line where the batsman can't reach, where you can't have an inside edge score
Yes.
also. Like that amount of precision was just something else. And about the 2013 Champions Trophy, my very first episode of my podcast was for that because I feel like with whatever we talk about MS and all of his accolades and all of his achievements, sometimes being blown out of proportion in the last 1 2 years, I feel my most important achievement or most important contribution that he has given to Indian cricket was that transition. Because we're seeing how hard the transition is right now. Like how hard it is to take a call that the senior players will sit out and the new generation will take over. And MS actually did that. So that entire tournament, when he told that I'm going to back the youngsters and I'm going to play a tournament with them, had MS lost that tournament, I am 95% sure he would be sacked from captaincy. But he took that, he took that punt and he played that young team and they went on to win the World Cup, win the Champions Trophy. So the courage to actually try and do a complete transition and then take it over. Like the next 1 year, if you see, they played test matches all over the world. And the same core team played test matches, what played the Champions Trophy. And that set the tone for Virat to take over as a test captain. Most of the players who played the Champions Trophy 11 were part of that successful campaign that Virat Kohli had from 2015 to 20, the test team. So the seeds of that 11 were sown by MS taking that tough call. So that is how smooth I had expected the transition to be after Virat also. But
Yes.
then the transition after Virat was just turmoil, like just pure turmoil. And I don't think we have still come to a place where we can say that we have had a smooth transition. We still don't know our test 11. We still don't know our next test captain. We still don't know what's next. When are Virat and Rohit going? Till when are they going to play? Till when they retire, who's going to replace them? Well, there are more questions than answers after the BGT. A lot more questions than answers.
Yeah. So uh, I think we've spoken enough. It's almost 1 hour. So with that, let's go to our next segment. Let's go to a fun segment. Let's go to our rapid fire segment.
Definitely.
I'll ask you. So I'll ask you quick questions. You should reply with one word or one sentence. Okay? You should not think. You should say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay? Okay. So here we go. Let's start with Ishan's rapid fire round. Dhoni's helicopter shot or Kohli's cover drive.
Kohli's cover drive.
Okay. Rohit Sharma in ODIs or Virat Kohli in Test.
Virat in test.
Travis Head or Rohit Sharma.
Ah, tough one. Because I'm an Indian, I think I'll go with Rohit Sharma.
Okay. Captain Cool Dhoni or King Kohli. Leadership style.
As a fast bowler, I think I'll go with Virat. Ashwin.
Best player of 2025.
2025,
Yeah.
I think Champions Trophy, I would say Akshar Patel.
Akshar Patel. Okay. Uh, will Pakistan come to India to play 2026 World Cup? We lost actually. We lost Ishan. Hello. Hey Ishan.
Yeah, I think my stream lagged a little. Yeah, I think the last question was best player of 25.
Okay, let's recap. Let's do the rapid fire again. Let's start. Let's go from start. Okay, because we want it in one shot. Okay. Uh, let's start up with Ishan's rapid fire round. Uh, Dhoni's helicopter shot or Kohli's cover right?
Kohli scout.
Rohit Sharma in ODIs or Virat Kohli in tests?
Virat any day. Virat in test.
Travis Head or Rohit Sharma?
As an Indian bias, Rohit Sharma.
In leadership style, captain cool or aggressive Kohli?
Being a fast bowler, I think I'll go with Kohli.
Ashwin or Jadeja?
Ashwin.
Best player in 2025?
For India, Champions Trophy, I felt Akshar Patel.
Okay. Will Pakistan come to India to play 2026 World Cup?
They need the money. They will. They'll do whatever they can to get the money.
Best individual IPL innings ever.
I
Batting and
think
bowling.
Chris Gale's 175 tied with Raina's 87 of 25. Both very
Okay.
groundbreaking. Bowling, I don't really remember any bowling performances as such, which are. I don't know. I've not remembered any standout bowling performances as such.
Okay. Will Kohli reach 100 centuries?
Don't think so. Very tough.
Very tough. Yes or no? What if the IPL team to not win the tournament?
If I keep my CSK bias aside, it will be SRH 2018. Otherwise, CSK 2014 was a very good IPL.
Punjab 2014 also. So honorable mention.
Yeah. Punjab 2014. But I mean, CSK could have defeated Punjab if Raina was not run out. I'll never disagree to that. In my heart, CSK had won the trophy. In my heart, CSK had the trophy. My God.
Yeah. So one foreign player that you want to play for India.
Jack Callis. I think we always needed an all-rounder.
Good pick. One IPL player who deserves more recognition.
I think Lasith Malinga, people have started to forget how much of an impact he had on Wankhede. Like people remember ABD in Chinnaswamy, but Lasith Malinga as an overseas player was most loved in IPL at one. I feel like I can pick a 5-wicket haul, so I would be very happy if I get a century. I can't bat for shit. There's a reason my page is called Tailenders. After a lot of thought, I think it's SillyPoint. I gave it a lot of thought though.
So coming to SillyPoint, most silly moment that you have seen on a field.
Not really a silly moment, but I'll give you, it's a very tricky moment. Say my team had 10 players recently.
Okay.
Like power play, you can keep 5 players outside and 4 inside. Now, if you have 10 players, do you keep 4 and 4 or do you keep 3 and 5? We had a proper fight regarding this in the match.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, so for the next segment, you'll be given 2 bowlers and then you have to pick the third one. So let's say I'll give you 2 bowlers, you have to pick one, and then I'll give you one more and then you have to pick you go like that, okay? Okay, go on. So Hari will do that.
All right. So we'll start off with Jadeja and Nathan line, and we'll start going on from there. So Jadeja, Nathan line.
Nathan Lyon.
Rashid Khan, Nathan line.
Nathan Lyon.
Akshar Patel, Nathan line.
Nathan Lyon.
Varun Chakravarti, Nathan line.
Nathan Lyon. You know which player is going to trump Nathan Lyon. You can just keep going. Nathan Lyon.
Adil Rashid, Nathan line.
Nathan Lyon.
Ashwin, Nathan line.
Ashwin.
Chahal, Ashwin.
Ashwin.
Ashwin Kuldeep.
Ashwin.
Nice. All right. So that's our ranking of spinners that comes to an end. So next, Naveen, you want to go ahead?
Yes. So for the next segment, Ishan, you have to pick a fantasy fireside. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pick a fantasy fireside, one batter, one bowl, one middle order batter / finisher, one wicket keeper, one spinner, and one fast bowler. So,
okay.
Who's your fantasy fireside?
Mentioned finisher, so I'm assuming it is for limited overs. So my batsman would be Virat, no doubt. When you go for wicket keeper, I would go with MS. So I can pick another finisher. Middle order / finisher would be Butler. The fast bowler that I will pick is Bumrah. The spinner that I will pick is Sunil Narine.
Amazing. Okay. I mean, all these top five, fantasy five, all-time 11s are all very debatable. So we should do one more episode where we just come sit down and say this is our top 10. Sorry, all-time world 11, all-time world T20 11, all-time world
I'll
ODI
give you
11.
I'll give you a tougher assignment. Pick an all-time IPL 11 and try to fit in only four overseas players. Just try and do that sometime. Just try
That would
and
be
fit
another
in
2 hours
four
episode.
overseas players out of Gale, ABD, David Warner, Bravo, Pollard, Malinga, Rashid Khan, Sunil Narine. I've named you eight. Try and pick four, and then try and pick seven Indian players around it. That can be one entire episode.
That is one movie. That's like 2.5 hours.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Ishan, it was lovely to have you. We had a very insightful discussion which had no outcome. Like all these things are very opinionated. There's no right thing, there's no wrong thing. There's no right captain, there's no wrong captain. So with that, we'll
Yeah.
end this podcast. See you again in the next episode. Bye bye.